Hello friends. What does it really mean to be a Libra in the world of business? Is it about balance, grace, and diplomacy, or is there a deeper strategic genius hidden behind that charming smile? Let's dive into the fascinating mind of the Libra entrepreneur, negotiator, and leader. Below are 7 aspects that reveal how Libra behaves, thrives, and sometimes struggles in the realm of business. After watching, if you'd like to support the channel, click the Thanks button right under this video or use the donation alerts link in the description. Your support really helps me keep creating. And of course, if you enjoy the content, please give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks so much for being here. Now let's continue. The art of strategic harmony. Libra's approach to business is a living, breathing symphony of diplomacy, empathy, and perception. When others walk into a meeting ready to dominate, Libra enters ready to understand. Their energy isn't confrontational, it's magnetic, a quiet force that brings people together, smooths out rough edges, and finds the middle ground where progress thrives. This isn't weakness, it's strategy. It's the kind of subtle power that reshapes entire companies without a single raised voice. Guided by Venus, the planet of love and beauty, Libra has an innate sense of proportion and timing. But this beauty manifests not in shallow vanity, but in the art of equilibrium, knowing how to balance ambition with empathy, assertiveness with tact, innovation with tradition. In the fast, high-pressure world of business, this harmony becomes their secret weapon. They are the ones who can read the invisible, the unsaid words, the subtle body language, the collective emotional temperature of a room. Imagine a Libra executive in a tense board meeting. The marketing team wants a bold, risky campaign. The finance department warns it could backfire. Voices rise, tension grows. The Libra sits back, observes. They hear not just the arguments, but the tones, the pride in the marketer's voice, the fear behind the accountant's caution. When they finally speak, they don't choose a side, they reframe the debate. What if we keep the bold concept, they might say, but test it first in a smaller market? And just like that, the energy shifts. Everyone feels heard, validated, and united under a new, balanced path forward. That's the Libra gift. They mediate without appearing to mediate. They don't impose peace, they create it naturally. They know that business relationships aren't just transactions, they're living ecosystems of trust, emotion, and perception. A company culture led by Libra tends to feel emotionally safe, intellectually stimulating, and aesthetically refined. There's rhythm and grace even in how they schedule meetings or design office spaces. Their leadership style is conversational, not authoritarian. Libra listens more than they speak, but when they do speak, every word lands with precision. Their voice carries calm authority, the kind that makes people pause, reflect, and recalibrate. They believe that persuasion through understanding is infinitely more powerful than control through fear. Libra thrives in roles where emotional intelligence meets strategic thinking, human resources, branding, diplomacy, public relations, and partnership management. They see beyond titles and hierarchies, focusing instead on the invisible web of relationships that make organizations tick. When conflicts arise, they become the bridge, not by suppressing tension, but by transforming it into collaboration. This mastery of emotional nuance doesn't mean Libra avoids hard decisions. On the contrary, they know that the smoothest path often begins with uncomfortable truth. What makes them unique is how they deliver that truth, gently, eloquently, in a way that invites reflection rather than resistance. They understand that in business, as in art, presentation matters as much as substance. Their strategic harmony extends beyond communication. It's how they build networks. Libra doesn't collect contacts, they cultivate relationships. They remember birthdays, preferences, the tone of a conversation from 2 years ago. People feel seen by Libra, and that emotional memory becomes a powerful business asset. Colleagues and clients trust them instinctively, not because they're loud, but because they're consistent, fair, and genuine. Even their approach to competition reflects this balanced mindset. Libra doesn't see rivals as enemies, but as potential collaborators or sources of inspiration. They'd rather learn from competition than destroy it. This ability to turn rivals into allies is what often gives them longevity in business. They rarely burn bridges, they build networks of lasting goodwill. However, achieving harmony in a chaotic business world is no small feat. Libra's empathy can sometimes make them overly accommodating, taking on the emotional weight of others. They can spend hours replaying conversations, wondering if they were too harsh or not firm enough. But once they mature into their power, they learn that harmony isn't about avoiding friction, it's about orchestrating it. A Libra leader who understands this becomes unstoppable, soft-spoken yet unbreakable, kind yet commanding. When Libra walks into a room, the energy shifts. People breathe easier, discussions flow more smoothly, ideas suddenly seem to align. It's as if their mere presence recalibrates the emotional frequency of the space. This is why they often become the unspoken center of gravity in any professional circle, not because they demand attention, but because they earn it through emotional steadiness and sincerity. They have an almost musical understanding of timing. They know when to speak, when to let silence linger, when to pivot. Like a skilled conductor, they sense when the conversation is losing tempo and subtly bring it back to rhythm. That's the artistry of the Libra mind, logic fused with intuition, intellect guided by heart. Libra's ability to find common ground makes them exceptional in international business, where cultural nuance matters as much as profit margins. They approach negotiation as a cultural exchange, not a battlefield. Instead of bulldozing their way to a deal, they listen, learn, and find creative win-win solutions that make both sides feel respected. It's why so many Libras excel as diplomats, ambassadors, and global strategists. They embody the rare blend of charm, intellect, and fairness that transcends borders. Even in entrepreneurship, where chaos often reigns, Libra finds a way to bring structure to the storm. They design brands that feel balanced, elegant visuals, inclusive messaging, thoughtful customer experiences. They instinctively understand that beauty isn't about perfection but proportion. They see business not as a hustle, but as an ecosystem of meaning and connection. If you ever find yourself collaborating with a Libra, you'll notice how they make you feel: calm, valued, and part of something larger. They'll ask for your opinion sincerely and actually listen. And when conflict arises, they'll steer the discussion back to shared goals instead of personal grievances. They're the glue that holds diverse personalities together, the quiet diplomat who ensures that every voice contributes to the melody. And in the rare moments when they lose their balance, when decisions overwhelm them or people disappoint them, Libra doesn't stay down for long. They retreat, reflect, and return stronger, having analyzed not only the situation but their own role in it. That self-awareness becomes the foundation of their maturity. Ultimately, the art of strategic harmony isn't just Libra's approach to business, it's their philosophy of life. It's the belief that success achieved through understanding, kindness, and equilibrium is more sustainable than success built on force. In every contract signed, every meeting held, every team led, Libra seeks not domination but alignment. Because when everything and everyone is in harmony, business becomes more than profit, it becomes poetry. The vision of aesthetic leadership. Libra doesn't simply build businesses, they craft them. Every decision they make, from the color of a logo to the tone of a customer email, carries an invisible signature of beauty, balance, and intentionality. Where others see commerce, Libra sees composition. Their mind functions like an artist's studio, where strategy and aesthetics aren't opposites but intertwined forces shaping the same masterpiece. When a Libra walks into a new venture, they don't ask, "How do we sell this?" They ask, "How does it feel?" That question alone separates them from ordinary entrepreneurs. They understand that a product's essence is inseparable from its presentation. A brand, in Libra's hands, becomes an emotional experience, one that whispers elegance without shouting for attention. Imagine a Libra designing a cafe. They don't just pick furniture, they orchestrate atmosphere. The lighting will flatter both faces and feelings, the aroma will carry comfort without heaviness, the menu topography will subtly invite curiosity, and even the playlist will flow like a conversation. To Libra, every detail is part of a larger emotional narrative. Customers don't simply visit such a space, they remember it, often without understanding why. That's Libra's genius, creating environments where logic and emotion coexist so harmoniously that people feel at ease without being able to explain it. Their leadership style mirrors this same aesthetic consciousness. Libra leads by crafting experiences rather than enforcing systems. They know that people perform their best not under pressure, but in beauty, in an atmosphere that stimulates the senses and nurtures self-worth. Their offices tend to feel alive. Clean lines, fresh air, calm tones, art on the walls that actually means something. Even in digital spaces, a Libra-led brand will exude warmth and refinement, websites that flow effortlessly, interfaces that seem to anticipate what the user needs next, campaigns that feel like heartfelt conversations rather than advertisements. To Libra, design is not vanity, it's communication. The way something looks and feels speaks before words do. They intuitively grasp that humans respond emotionally before intellectually, and they build entire business philosophies around this truth. They don't merely decorate, they translate emotion into form. In industries like fashion, beauty, architecture, design, luxury marketing, or hospitality, Libra doesn't just thrive, they define the standard. They have a near mystical sense of proportion. Their aesthetic is rarely loud or overstated. It's understated elegance, the kind that whispers quality instead of screaming status. They understand restraint, the power of the one perfect detail rather than 1,000 competing elements. They understand how minimalism can feel opulent when it's executed with sincerity and care. And this aesthetic mastery goes beyond surface visuals. Libra brings balance to creative chaos. When a team of designers is drowning in inspiration with no direction, Libra steps in, not to control, but to clarify. They ask the questions that pull beauty back into purpose. What story are we telling? What emotion should linger when people leave? They're the artistic anchor that turns imagination into identity. But the Libra's vision of leadership isn't just about art, it's about psychology. They understand that harmony builds trust. In an age of overstimulation and brand noise, their calm, balanced approach becomes magnetic. Consumers instinctively gravitate toward brands that feel safe, consistent, and beautiful, and Libra knows exactly how to create that feeling. Their campaigns rarely rely on manipulation. Instead, they speak to the human desire for peace, for belonging, for meaning in a chaotic world. There's something deeply humanistic about Libra's leadership. They're not interested in aesthetics for vanity's sake, they're interested in how beauty affects behavior. They know that when a workspace is visually harmonious, productivity rises. When a brand's design reflects empathy, customer loyalty deepens. When a presentation is aesthetically refined, ideas are taken more seriously. For Libra, beauty isn't decoration, it's a form of respect. It tells your audience, you matter enough for me to care about how this looks and feels. This is also why Libra entrepreneurs often excel in customer experience. They see the buyer not as a data point but as a participant in a story. Every interaction, from packaging to email follow-up, is an opportunity to communicate grace. Even their customer service feels like art. They understand tone, timing, empathy, and balance as if they were instruments in an orchestra. To them, a satisfied customer isn't just one who got what they paid for, it's someone who felt seen. Their aesthetic sensitivity extends to the emotional architecture of teams. Libra leaders design workplace cultures as carefully as visual identities. They curate personalities the way others curate portfolios, balancing visionaries with realists, dreamers with executors. They know that a team's emotional chemistry determines the quality of the work far more than any quarterly goal. They ensure every voice contributes to the rhythm, every conflict resolves into harmony. Their leadership feels like jazz, structured yet spontaneous, planned yet alive. And yet, perhaps the most fascinating thing about Libra's aesthetic leadership is its restraint. They understand that beauty needs silence. They know when to stop adding, when to let negative space speak. This discipline is what separates their creations from cluttered mediocrity. In a world obsessed with more, Libra whispers the power of just enough. Consider how Libra entrepreneurs like to present themselves, effortlessly refined. Their fashion choices mirror their philosophy: timeless cuts, clean lines, quality over trend. It's never about extravagance, it's about coherence. They know that when your external appearance aligns with your internal essence, you project authenticity. That same alignment is what they strive for in their brands: visual integrity that mirrors moral integrity. They are storytellers in disguise. Every design choice tells a story of who they are and what they believe in. They weave emotion into form so naturally that people feel connection before comprehension. That's why Libra-led brands often create cult-like loyalty. Customers don't just buy, they belong. Libra's challenge, however, is to remember that beauty without backbone can become illusion. Their deep appreciation for aesthetics can make them hesitant to disrupt harmony even when change is needed. But once they learn that true elegance can coexist with courage, that sometimes breaking balance is necessary to create a new one, they evolve into the rarest kind of leader, the visionary who can both dream and decide. In business history, the most successful Libra-driven brands have one defining trait: they make people feel calm in a world of chaos. Whether through design, communication, or leadership, Libra channels beauty into trust, and trust into loyalty. Their aesthetic isn't about decoration, it's about emotion, ethics, and experience woven together. At the deepest level, Libra's vision of aesthetic leadership is about alignment, between the inner and outer, between purpose and perception. They understand that people don't just buy what you make, they buy how you make them feel. And when everything, from logo to language, from workspace to workflow, resonates in harmony, the result is more than success. It's legacy. Libra teaches that aesthetic leadership is not the privilege of artists, it's the responsibility of anyone who wants to build something meaningful. Because when business is guided by beauty, not vanity, but beauty born from empathy and balance, it ceases to be a transaction. It becomes art, the power of partnership. For Libra, business is never a solitary climb up a mountain. It's a shared journey, one where every step feels more purposeful when someone else walks beside them. They are not built for isolation, they are designed for connection. To Libra, collaboration isn't a tactic, it's oxygen. It fuels their thinking, ignites their creativity, and transforms abstract ideas into living, breathing ventures. Libra thrives in the presence of others. They shine brightest in dialogue, where ideas ricochet like sparks in a dark room. Put a Libra in a brainstorming session, and watch as they turn chaos into choreography. Their mind dances with the flow of conversation, linking one person's insight to another's question, weaving a tapestry of logic, emotion, and innovation. It's not about dominance for them, it's about resonance. They instinctively know that brilliance grows faster when it's shared. When Libra finds the right partner, someone whose strengths complement their grace, something extraordinary happens. Their diplomacy becomes the bridge between personalities that might otherwise clash. Their calm centers the storm. They understand how to balance fire with water, structure with spontaneity, vision with pragmatism. Whether they're co-founding a startup, co-authoring a project, or leading a creative team, Libra brings an intuitive sense of symmetry to relationships. They don't impose their rhythm, they find it together. In business partnerships, Libra's power lies in their ability to make others feel seen. They listen, truly listen, not with the intent to respond, but to understand. Their partners feel safe, valued, and trusted in their presence. This sense of emotional security allows creativity to flourish. Decisions feel collaborative, not dictated. Success becomes shared, not hoarded. Libra understands that the emotional health of a partnership is as vital as the financial health of the business itself. They build companies like relationships, with attention, care, and communication. They remember that trust is not earned once but maintained daily. They'll send that thoughtful text after a difficult meeting, the reassuring note after a disagreement, the gratitude email after a win. To Libra, every professional bond carries an invisible thread of humanity. They believe that the energy between people determines the fate of their shared creation. Their diplomatic nature gives them an uncanny ability to resolve tension before it escalates. They can read the emotional undercurrents in silence, the flicker in a partner's eyes, the slight hesitation in tone, and they address it with grace. They'll reframe conflict in ways that dissolve defensiveness. I hear what you're saying, but what if we looked at it from this angle? It's never about winning, it's about restoring balance. That's why people trust them as mediators and co-creators. They transform discord into progress. But this deep desire for peace has a shadow. Libra's instinct to maintain harmony can become over-accommodation. They might downplay their opinions to avoid conflict, suppressing their inner voice for the sake of outer calm. They can end up carrying the emotional labor of a partnership, smoothing every wrinkle until they're emotionally exhausted. When they finally reach their limit, it often surprises everyone, because Libra rarely shows their frustration until it overflows. The lesson they must learn is profound. Harmony doesn't mean silence. It means alignment. True partnership is not about pleasing everyone, it's about walking the same path with mutual respect. Libra's evolution in business comes when they learn to express disagreement with the same elegance they express empathy. When they realize that saying no can be just as graceful as saying yes, they become not just supportive partners, but powerful leaders. Their partnerships often have a poetic quality. They attract people who are strong where they are gentle, decisive where they are contemplative, fiery where they are calm. And yet, Libra's influence subtly shapes the entire dynamic. They civilize the fire, temper the drive, humanize the ambition. Even when their partner takes the spotlight, Libra is the quiet architect ensuring the stage holds steady beneath them. They are the invisible structure behind visible success. Libra's ideal business partnerships often feel more like creative marriages, rooted in shared ideals, sustained by mutual admiration. There's always beauty in how they communicate, the tone, the pacing, the empathy. They know when to push and when to pause. They don't demand loyalty, they inspire it. Their partnerships feel alive because Libra infuses them with emotional intelligence, the awareness that every collaboration is built not just on goals, but on the feeling of togetherness. The way Libra approaches networking also reflects this philosophy. They're not transactional, they're relational. They don't collect contacts, they nurture connections. You'll never feel like a number in a Libra's professional circle. They'll remember what drives you, what worries you, what lights you up. They send thoughtful check-ins months after a project ends. They understand that genuine partnership extends beyond contracts. It lives in mutual respect and shared humanity. Even in leadership, Libra treats their teams as partners, not subordinates. They distribute credit generously, involve everyone in the creative process, and celebrate collaboration over hierarchy. Their businesses often thrive because people feel emotionally invested in the outcome. A Libra-led environment fosters belonging. Everyone feels like part of the equation. The result is a collective rhythm that's hard to replicate. But when partnership goes wrong, it cuts deeply for Libra. Betrayal, imbalance, or emotional distance can shake their sense of stability. Because they invest not just time but heart into collaborations, disappointments can feel personal. Yet even in heartbreak, Libra rarely retaliates. They analyze, reflect, and often forgive, not out of weakness, but out of wisdom. They understand that bitterness disrupts harmony, and that letting go gracefully is its own kind of power. Libra's partnerships often mirror their growth. Early in life, they may attract dominant partners who make the decisions for them. But with experience, Libra learns to balance softness with self-assertion. They become the kind of partner who listens without losing themselves, who supports without disappearing. That evolution transforms them from people pleasers into people guiders, collaborators who can lead through compassion and clarity. And perhaps what makes Libra's partnerships so remarkable is the sense of artistry they bring to them. They treat collaboration like choreography. Every meeting, every dialogue, every decision becomes part of a larger dance, one where timing, rhythm, and emotional connection matter as much as outcomes. They understand that great partnerships, like great art, require both structure and spontaneity. A Libra in business doesn't just want success, they want shared success. They want to look across the table at someone and feel that sense of, we built this together. They crave the synergy of dual forces, the thrill of shared creation, the intimacy of collective vision. To them, the true reward isn't the profit. It's the partnership itself, that beautiful balance of minds and hearts moving in unison towards something meaningful. In a world that often glorifies independence and individual hustle, Libra reminds us that power doesn't always come from standing alone. Sometimes it comes from standing together, with grace, intention, and respect. The Libra way of partnership transforms business from a competition into a collaboration, from a hierarchy into a harmony. Because for Libra, success isn't just measured by what they achieve, it's measured by who they achieve it with. And in that shared victory lies their truest expression of power. Partnership not as a strategy, but as an art. The Libra decision dilemma. Every Libra in business knows this silent battle well, the endless weighing, the circling thoughts, the careful comparison of every pro and con until all momentum evaporates. To outsiders, it may look like hesitation. To Libra, it's a form of devotion. They want to honor every possibility before making a choice. They feel the weight of consequence so deeply that choosing one direction feels like betraying all others. It's not that they can't decide, it's that they see too much. Libra's mind is an intricate mirror hall of possibilities. Every reflection shows another angle, another outcome, another potential ripple effect. Should they launch the product now while the market buzz is strong, or wait until the branding feels perfect? Should they take the partnership that offers stability or the one that promises passion? They'll spend hours, days, sometimes weeks running simulations in their head. Each path seems both right and wrong depending on the light. This mental over-analysis often comes from their innate fairness. Libra doesn't just want the best decision, they want the fairest one, the one that causes the least friction, satisfies the most people, creates the most harmony. But business, by nature, demands friction. Growth often begins with disruption, and disruption requires choices that make someone uncomfortable. This is Libra's paradox. Their greatest gift, the ability to see all sides, can also become their greatest trap. Inside Libra's mind, decision-making can feel like standing in a courtroom where every argument is eloquent. Logic presents one case, intuition another, emotions a third. Each side makes a compelling plea. The jury never reaches a verdict because Libra, the eternal diplomat, keeps reopening the debate. They might craft pros and cons lists so extensive they start to look like novels. And in that pursuit of perfect balance, time slips through their fingers. Their hesitation isn't laziness, it's empathy. They imagine the faces of the people affected by their decisions. They anticipate reactions, potential disappointments, and spoken consequences. Libra doesn't fear failure as much as they fear hurting someone or creating disharmony. But in business, indecision has its own cost. Lost deals, missed timing, diluted vision. The market moves fast. Hesitation can feel like silence in a world that rewards action. Yet there's something profound about Libra's pause. In that stillness, they gather insights others overlook. They notice the emotional subtext, the ethical dimension, the long-term implications. Their mind doesn't just process data, it feels through it. That's why, when a Libra finally decides, their choice tends to be not only strategic but deeply humane. It carries integrity, it carries soul. But to reach that power, Libra must confront the discomfort of imperfection. They must learn that waiting for a perfect choice is like waiting for the wind to stand still. Business decisions are rarely black and white, they're made in shades of gray. The lesson Libra must master is that balance doesn't come from delay, it comes from movement. Real harmony is dynamic, not static. The turning point often comes when Libra realizes that intuition is not the enemy of reason, it's the missing half. Once they begin to trust their gut, their decision-making transforms. The same sensitivity that once caused hesitation becomes a compass. They begin to understand that every decision has trade-offs, and that making peace with those trade-offs is the essence of leadership. A mature Libra in business learns to make decisions like an artist, not a scientist, guided by feeling, informed by logic. They no longer need every piece of data to move forward. They listen to what feels aligned, to what resonates in their bones. And suddenly, they become unstoppable, because when Libra moves with confidence, it feels like the entire universe exhales in relief. They start to embrace timing as part of their art. Libra realizes that sometimes the right choice made late becomes the wrong choice, and that imperfect action often teaches more than perfect hesitation. So they begin to experiment. They make smaller, faster decisions first, testing, adjusting, refining. Over time, their inner balance becomes less about avoiding mistakes and more about gracefully recovering from them. This evolution often surprises those who underestimate Libra. Once they conquer their fear of conflict, both external and internal, they transform into decisive, intuitive leaders who make choices that align head and heart. They become the type of executive who can read a room, make a judgment call, and trust themselves even when the outcome isn't guaranteed. Their decision-making style remains distinct, though. Even when they act quickly, it's never rash. There's always elegance in their logic, softness in their precision. Libra has a way of making decisions that feel inclusive, even when they're firm. They'll explain their reasoning with such clarity that others accept it willingly. Their diplomacy doesn't vanish, it simply evolves into strategic communication. When they lead teams, Libra's decision dilemma can initially create frustration. Employees may crave stronger direction. But once Libra learns to articulate their thought process and involve their team in it, that same tendency becomes an asset. People feel heard in Libra's orbit. They understand why a choice was made, which builds trust. The indecision that once stalled progress transforms into collective wisdom. Libra's approach to business decisions often mirrors their love life, full of depth, empathy, and the constant search for equilibrium. They weigh emotional truth against practical reality, personal value against collective need. It's rarely a straight line, but it's always sincere. They can't help but infuse their professional judgments with human consideration. Their struggle with indecision also gives them an unusual humility. They don't assume they're always right. They consult, they collaborate, they welcome dissent. This open-mindedness makes them adaptable leaders who can pivot gracefully when circumstances change. While some may see hesitation as weakness, in Libra's world it's often the sign of respect. Respect for nuance, for people, for the interconnected nature of every choice. And yet, the most powerful Libra leaders eventually reach a point where they understand that fairness doesn't always mean equality, sometimes it means clarity. They learn that leading requires making peace with discomfort, standing firm even when others disagree. The moment they realize that conflict can coexist with respect, their entire relationship with decision-making shifts. When Libra finally trusts their intuition, they step into a rhythm that feels effortless. Their decisions become poetry, balanced yet bold, deliberate yet alive. They make choices that others can feel, not just follow. And because they act from harmony rather than hesitation, their decisions ripple outward with integrity. The Libra decision dilemma, at its heart, is a journey from fear to faith, faith in their own perception, faith in timing, faith in their ability to restore balance no matter the outcome. Once they master this, Libra becomes one of the most reliable decision-makers in business. Not fast for the sake of speed, not cautious for the sake of safety, but aligned, a rare fusion of empathy, intellect, and intuition. In the end, Libra teaches that the truest form of decisiveness isn't rigidity, it's grace. It's knowing that even imperfect choices can lead to perfect growth. It's trusting that balance isn't something you wait for, it's something you create, moment by moment, choice by choice, until hesitation turns into harmony and uncertainty transforms into art. The best zodiac partners for Libra in business. Libra, ruled by Venus, is naturally attuned to relationships. In business, this means they don't just look for collaborators, they look for chemistry. They want partners who not only complement their skills but also resonate with their emotional and intellectual wavelength. To Libra, partnership is not a mere transaction, it's an alchemy of personalities, talents, and visions merging toward a shared masterpiece. When they find the right zodiac allies, their innate diplomacy, creativity, and charm reach new levels of brilliance. Let's begin with the sign that electrifies Libra's mind and ignites their ideas, Gemini. These two share an air element connection, which means communication flows like oxygen between them. Gemini's mind is mercurial, fast, inventive, endlessly curious, and Libra loves that. Where Libra might pause to weigh every option, Gemini jumps in, exploring, experimenting, testing. This keeps Libra from getting stuck in their decision loops. Gemini acts as the spark that pushes Libra into motion, while Libra provides the equilibrium that prevents Gemini from scattering their energy. Together, they form a creative think tank. Libra brings refinement and structure to Gemini's whirlwind of ideas, polishing them into something market-ready. Gemini teaches Libra spontaneity, the art of starting before everything feels perfect. In business meetings, they often play off each other like seasoned performers. Gemini dazzles with quick wit and bold concepts, while Libra anchors the conversation with grace and reason. Their ventures often feel fresh, modern, and irresistibly stylish, the kind of brands that appeal to both intellect and emotion. However, this duo must be mindful of their shared love for ideas over execution. Both can get lost in brainstorming without grounding their dreams into concrete plans. Fortunately, Libra's eye for detail and diplomacy helps translate Gemini's inspiration into action. When they balance that dynamic, imagination meets refinement, they become unstoppable innovators, redefining industries with both creativity and charm. Now enter Leo, the radiant monarch of the zodiac. When Libra and Leo unite in business, the partnership glows with charisma. Leo's fiery self-assurance blends beautifully with Libra's elegance and tact. Leo brings the bold vision, the courage to take risks, the magnetic leadership that commands attention. Libra refines that energy, giving it direction, polish, and aesthetic sophistication. A Leo-Libra team thrives on mutual admiration. Leo respects Libra's intelligence and grace, while Libra is inspired by Leo's confidence and creative power. Together, they build brands that feel both luxurious and approachable, the kind of ventures that dazzle the market while maintaining warmth and humanity. Leo handles the spotlight naturally. Libra ensures that everyone else feels valued in the process. Their shared appreciation for beauty, art, and excellence makes them natural collaborators in entertainment, design, marketing, or any field where creativity meets influence. Of course, this partnership can spark fireworks, both dazzling and volatile. Leo's pride sometimes clashes with Libra's need for diplomacy. When Libra hesitates, Leo might see it as doubt. When Leo asserts dominance, Libra might feel overshadowed. Yet, when they learn to communicate openly and recognize their differences as complementary, they achieve what few can: a balance of power infused with passion. Leo teaches Libra the strength of boldness, while Libra teaches Leo the art of subtlety. Together, they don't just chase success, they command it. Then we have Aquarius, the visionary thinker, the inventor, the rebel with a purpose. This partnership is where intellect meets idealism. Libra and Aquarius share the air element as well, but while Libra seeks harmony, Aquarius seeks progress. Libra is fascinated by Aquarius's futuristic mind, their ability to see beyond the horizon and reimagine what's possible. Aquarius, in turn, admires Libra's social grace and sense of fairness, qualities that help turn their avant-garde visions into movements people actually believe in. In business, this duo is often drawn to causes larger than themselves: humanitarian projects, tech innovations, or creative ventures with social impact. Libra provides the diplomacy to navigate public perception and partnerships, while Aquarius contributes the radical ideas that set trends years ahead of their time. Their shared sense of justice and innovation often leads them toward ethical entrepreneurship, sustainable design, or community-driven technology. What makes this partnership particularly powerful is their shared emotional detachment when it comes to conflict. Neither sign enjoys drama for drama's sake. They'd rather solve problems intellectually than emotionally. This allows them to handle disagreements logically, finding solutions that serve the bigger picture. However, Aquarius's independence can sometimes challenge Libra's desire for connection. Libra must remember not to interpret Aquarius's aloofness as rejection. It's simply how the water bearer recharges. When they honor that difference, they can build empires of innovation balanced with integrity. And then comes Sagittarius, the wanderer, the philosopher, the eternal optimist. Sagittarius enters Libra's life like a gust of fresh air, shaking up their routines and awakening their adventurous spirit. Libra, ever the strategist, finds Sagittarius's spontaneity both thrilling and terrifying. Yet this is precisely the kind of energy Libra needs to expand beyond their comfort zone. Sagittarius pushes them to think big, to dream bolder, to act without overanalyzing every step. Together, they're unstoppable visionaries. Sagittarius brings the fire of exploration, the appetite for risk, the faith that everything will work out. Libra brings structure, design, and the ability to transform big dreams into beautiful realities. Sagittarius motivates, Libra refines. Their businesses often involve travel, culture, education, or storytelling, anything that connects people across boundaries. Their conversations are legendary, philosophical, inspiring, filled with laughter and debate. Sagittarius loves Libra's charm and intellect. Libra is drawn to Sagittarius's authenticity and optimism. This duo thrives when they keep each other balanced. Libra ensures Sagittarius doesn't fly too close to the sun, while Sagittarius ensures Libra doesn't stay too long in deliberation. Still, Sagittarius's blunt honesty can sometimes jar Libra's sensitivity. The archer's truth-telling lacks filters, while Libra values tact. When they find their rhythm, however, that honesty becomes their strength. Libra learns to embrace courage over caution, and Sagittarius learns the beauty of diplomacy. They remind each other that growth and grace can coexist, and when they do, their ventures radiate wisdom and warmth. What ties these partnerships together, Gemini, Leo, Aquarius, Sagittarius, is that each challenges Libra to evolve while enhancing their natural gifts. Gemini sharpens their intellect, Leo strengthens their confidence, Aquarius expands their vision, Sagittarius awakens their sense of adventure. Each of these signs gives Libra something essential, momentum. In return, Libra offers what no one else can, the art of refinement, emotional intelligence, and balance. With these signs by their side, Libra finds a harmony between inspiration and action, intuition and execution. Their collaborations don't just generate wealth, they create meaning. They build businesses that feel alive, ventures born not out of ego but out of synergy. In these partnerships, Libra learns that success is sweetest when it's shared, when it flows like conversation, when it feels less like strategy and more like connection. And so, through Gemini's curiosity, Leo's fire, Aquarius's innovation, and Sagittarius's faith, Libra discovers the beauty of partnership not as dependence, but as expansion, a reminder that the right allies don't just help you succeed, they help you become. The tough matches, when harmony breaks down. Even the most graceful of dancers occasionally missteps, and Libra, the eternal artist of balance, knows this truth all too well. Not every zodiac partnership flows like music. Some feel like static, like two instruments slightly out of tune. These mismatched energies don't necessarily spell failure. Rather, they test Libra's capacity to remain composed amid discord. They reveal the limits of their adaptability and the strength of their self-awareness. When harmony breaks down, Libra learns what kind of peace is worth preserving, and what kind of peace comes from letting go. The first of these challenging allies is Capricorn, the stoic builder of the zodiac. Capricorn's world is defined by order, results, and structure, a place where hierarchy reigns and time is currency. Libra, by contrast, moves through life like air, adjusting, flowing, analyzing, and relating. When these two collide in business, it's like trying to merge marble with water. Each has integrity, but their natures resist blending. Capricorn sees Libra's deliberation as hesitation, their diplomacy as avoidance, their charm as distraction from real work. Libra, in turn, views Capricorn's seriousness as emotional austerity, a lack of warmth, a rigidity that kills creative rhythm. Their communication can feel like a polite duel. Capricorn speaks in statements, Libra responds with questions. Capricorn aims for completion, Libra seeks consensus. The goat believes that progress requires discipline, while the scales believe that progress requires understanding. And yet, underneath this friction lies potential greatness, if they can learn from one another. Capricorn can teach Libra the value of boundaries, the discipline of follow-through, the satisfaction of closure. Libra, meanwhile, can remind Capricorn that leadership without empathy is tyranny, that the heart of every business beats with human connection, not spreadsheets. If these two signs manage to find respect for their differences, they can create something exceptional. Capricorn provides the bones, the structure, the discipline, the strategic endurance, while Libra breathes life and beauty into it. Together, they can build empires that are both solid and soulful. But it takes patience. Libra must not take Capricorn's bluntness personally, and Capricorn must recognize that Libra's tact isn't weakness but wisdom. If either side stops trying to change the other and starts learning instead, the partnership can transform from cold friction into a masterpiece of dual excellence. Then comes Cancer, the tender heart of the zodiac, emotional, nurturing, deeply protective of what they build. At first glance, this partnership seems promising. Both Cancer and Libra crave harmony. Both value connection, loyalty, and emotional understanding. But where Libra seeks harmony through intellect and diplomacy, Cancer seeks it through emotional security. Their languages of peace are not the same. One speaks in reason, the other in feeling. In business, this difference can lead to a slow, quiet erosion of trust. Libra tries to stay objective, weighing facts and fairness. Cancer interprets this detachment as coldness. Cancer makes decisions with intuition and care, guided by heart. Libra sees that as bias clouding logic. What begins as mutual admiration, Libra admiring Cancer's empathy, Cancer admiring Libra's grace, can evolve into misunderstanding when emotions run high. Cancer's sensitivity often makes them take feedback personally, while Libra, desperate to avoid emotional turbulence, softens truths until they lose their meaning. Libra thinks they're protecting harmony, Cancer feels patronized. Eventually, the tension bursts in the form of passive-aggressive exchanges or quiet resentment. Yet, even this storm holds purpose. Libra learns that harmony isn't the same as avoidance, that true peace sometimes demands difficult honesty. Cancer learns that not every disagreement is a betrayal, that emotional resilience can coexist with love. And then there's Aries, Libra's cosmic opposite, their mirror image cast in flame. Aries is instinctive, daring, impulsive. Libra is contemplative, deliberate, and graceful. When these two come together, the chemistry is undeniable. Fire meets air, passion meets poise. But so does the friction. Aries thrives on speed, on action, on gut decisions made in the heat of the moment. Libra wants to analyze, to discuss, to balance every perspective before moving forward. To Aries, Libra's diplomacy feels like delay. To Libra, Aries's boldness feels reckless. In a business context, this can create both magic and mayhem. Their differences, if left unchecked, turn meetings into tug-of-war matches. Aries pushes for immediate execution. Libra insists on refinement. Aries grows impatient with talk. Libra grows anxious with haste. But when they learn to synchronize their rhythms, they can accomplish feats that neither could achieve alone. Aries injects courage into Libra's caution, igniting decisions that would otherwise remain drafts. Libra tempers Aries's impulsiveness with elegance, ensuring that every bold move still carries grace and strategic foresight. Their partnership, at its best, is electric, the visionary fire of Aries channeled through the harmonic lens of Libra. Together, they can revolutionize industries, launch daring ventures, and inspire movements. But it requires deep respect for pacing. Aries must learn that not every pause is hesitation, sometimes it's precision. Libra must learn that not every rush is recklessness, sometimes it's intuition. When they stop seeing each other as opposites and start seeing each other as complements, they become an unstoppable force, passion balanced by wisdom, courage softened by empathy. Through all these tough matches, Capricorn, Cancer, Aries, Libra encounters the same core lesson: harmony is not the absence of conflict. It's the art of navigating it with grace. Each difficult partnership exposes a blind spot in Libra's nature. Capricorn tests their ability to stand firm. Cancer tests their ability to stay honest in the face of emotion. Aries tests their ability to stay calm amid chaos. These are not punishments. They are initiations, spiritual workouts for Libra's soul. Incompatibility, for Libra, is not a dead end. It's a mirror. Each friction reveals where they bend too far, where they compromise too quickly, where they fear disapproval more than disconnection. Every challenging partnership teaches Libra that boundaries, not avoidance, preserve harmony, that sometimes balance means standing tall while others tremble. Ultimately, Libra's toughest matches are their greatest teachers. They strip away the illusion that harmony is something external to be maintained. They reveal that true harmony is internal, an unshakable peace that survives disagreement, disappointment, and difference. So when harmony breaks down, Libra learns to listen to the silence that follows. It's there, in the quiet aftermath of conflict, that they find something more powerful than agreement, self-respect. From that foundation, even the hardest partnerships can evolve into respect, if not friendship. Because for Libra, every storm, no matter how chaotic, eventually teaches them how to dance in the wind without losing their rhythm. The legacy of the Libra leader. At their essence, Libras in business are the silent sculptors of balance, the designers of invisible architecture where cooperation replaces chaos. They remind the world that leadership doesn't need to roar to be powerful. It can whisper and still move mountains. Their influence spreads not through dominance but through presence, through the way they make people feel valued, heard, and part of something graceful. Libra's leadership begins with atmosphere. When they walk into a room, the air seems to shift, tension softens, conversation flows, and competing voices start to find rhythm. They are masters at creating emotional geometry, the perfect proportion between listening and speaking, between vision and flexibility. Where others draw lines of hierarchy, Libra sketches circles of inclusion. Their boardrooms rarely feel like battlegrounds. They feel like salons, where intellect, empathy, and creativity mingle freely. Their true genius lies in how they merge logic with feeling. While some leaders calculate success through numbers alone, Libra counts trust, connection, and culture among their greatest assets. They understand that a company's value is not only measured by profit margins but by the quality of its relationships with clients, employees, and even competitors. To them, business is not just an ecosystem, it's an organism. It breathes, it feels, it responds to care. When a Libra leads, people don't just follow orders, they align with vision. Their communication style is soft yet precise, persuasive without manipulation. They know how to translate ideas into inspiration and inspiration into movement. Under their leadership, a meeting can feel like a creative session, a negotiation like an art form. Even difficult conversations carry dignity because Libra knows that respect is the strongest currency of all. Their companies reflect their soul, refined, balanced, and quietly beautiful. Whether it's a fashion house, a media agency, or a tech startup, Libra infuses aesthetic intelligence into every detail. The color palette of a product, the tone of a campaign, the design of a workspace, everything must feel harmonious. They see brand identity not as surface decoration but as emotional architecture. Every choice tells a story of intention and grace. And yet, Libra's legacy isn't defined by beauty alone. It's defined by humanity. In a business world that often glorifies competition, Libra champions collaboration. They understand that success achieved through empathy is not weakness, it's wisdom. They build teams that don't just perform, they belong. People under Libra's guidance tend to stay longer, grow deeper, and feel more connected to the purpose behind the paycheck. Their mentorship is another hallmark of their leadership. Libra doesn't lead by force, they lead by reflection. They hold up a mirror that helps others see their own potential. They celebrate collective wins more than personal triumphs. They remember birthdays, notice effort, and make even the quietest team member feel indispensable. In a corporate culture obsessed with output, Libra restores the lost art of appreciation. This emotional intelligence, however, doesn't mean softness in strategy. Libra can be firm when fairness demands it. Once they learn to balance compassion with conviction, they become formidable decision makers. Their grace carries weight, the kind that commands respect without intimidation. When they make choices, it's not impulse but insight that guides them. Their authority feels earned, not enforced. Their legacy also extends beyond the office walls. Many Libra leaders become cultural tastemakers, philanthropists, or advocates for ethical business. They use their influence to promote equality, sustainability, and inclusion, causes that resonate with their moral compass. For them, leadership is not just a role, it's stewardship. They believe power must serve beauty and justice in equal measure. What makes a Libra's impact so enduring is the emotional aftertaste they leave behind. Long after a project ends, people remember how it felt to work with them, the calm they brought into chaos, the diplomacy that turned tension into teamwork. Their success stories are often retold not as tales of conquest but as lessons in connection. Even in moments of failure, Libra's elegance persists. They analyze mistakes without blame, treating setbacks as symphonies still in progress. Their resilience isn't loud, it's lyrical. They recover by restoring rhythm, by reminding everyone, including themselves, that balance is never lost, only momentarily disturbed. The Libra leader's environment often mirrors their inner world. Offices under their direction tend to feel like art galleries or sanctuaries, light, harmonious, filled with subtle symbols of care. Plants thrive, conversations sound measured, there's an intuitive sense of equality that encourages creativity. People feel safe enough to take risks because Libra's presence assures them that mistakes will be met with understanding, not punishment. Their leadership style might frustrate those who mistake calm for passivity, but those who stay long enough understand the quiet power behind it. Libra leads not from the front or the back, but from the center, anchoring everything around balance. They are the axis upon which the wheel of collaboration turns smoothly. When they speak, the room listens, not because they demand attention, but because they deserve it. As they evolve, Libras often become visionaries of culture, creating brands that feel timeless rather than trendy. They're drawn to elegance that lasts, to harmony that transcends markets. Whether it's through ethical design, social innovation, or community-driven projects, Libra seeks to make beauty useful and usefulness beautiful. Their aesthetic isn't vanity, it's philosophy. When head and heart finally align, when Libra learns to trust both data and intuition equally, their leadership reaches its full expression. They make decisions not out of fear of imbalance but from the mastery of it. They no longer chase harmony, they embody it. Their presence alone becomes a form of leadership, a reminder that grace can coexist with greatness. The legacy of a Libra leader, then, is not carved in stone or measured in quarterly reports. It's woven into the fabric of culture, the tone of conversations, the memories of those they've guided. They redefine success as symbiosis, where profit meets purpose and elegance meets efficiency. Their companies don't just thrive, they feel alive. In the grand symphony of business, Libra is the conductor who ensures every instrument finds its place. Their strategies resonate like compositions, thoughtful, balanced, complete. Their outcomes are not victories won through noise but harmonies sustained through wisdom. And when they step away, the melody continues, softer perhaps, but unmistakably theirs. Ultimately, Libra teaches the world that leadership is an art form. It's not about being the loudest voice in the room, it's about being the calm center around which excellence gathers. Their true legacy is a new definition of power, one that's inclusive, intelligent, and infinitely humane. Because when a Libra leads, success stops being a competition and becomes a conversation, one filled with grace, empathy, and timeless equilibrium. In the world of business, Libra teaches us that balance isn't about standing still. It's about flowing gracefully between opposites, logic and emotion, profit and purpose, self and others. And when that dance is mastered, success becomes more than a number, it becomes a masterpiece.